Hey loves, welcome back to the channel at Fashion with Aisha. I decided, since it is that time of the year where a lot of us are planning our summer and spring trips, and many of us don't like waiting on other people or trying to make plans with others, so we just go on our own. And I think, is it Super Bowl weekend or is that coming soon? But regardless, I thought it would be a great time to make a how to travel alone video. And of course, I have to give the advisory that this is not expert advice. Travel alone at your own risk and own will. And just because it worked for me doesn't necessarily mean it'll work for you. But I definitely have some experience traveling alone. And I think that I could give some tips and tricks on how to do so without putting yourself at risk and in danger. So let me get my mirror. Be right back. All right, so first and foremost, you've got to let someone you trust know where you're going, what time, like the dates that you'll be there, how you're going to get there. Give them your flight number. If you're taking the train, let them know what time you're taking the train. And if you plans change, your train, taxi, Uber, Lyft, whatever times change, you can always share on Lyft. You can share your travel steps with someone. I haven't used Uber in a while because last time I checked, Uber didn't let you do Apple Pay, but someone told me that they have updated that now and they allow you to use Apple Pay. And I know Lyft lets you share your travel destination steps and all that with someone. So that's why I've always went with Lyft, and because it does use Apple Pay. This is the Coast's Airbrow. It came with the birthday gift for Sephora that's out right now. It's not good. I do not recommend this whatsoever. It leaves a residue, and if you put makeup on it, you can see it. It's like a sticky, tacky residue. I hate it so much. It's not the best quality. But what are you going to do? What are you going to do? Anyways, so you shared your travel times and your transportation techniques with someone you trust, and that would be concerned if you went MIA for an extended period of time. Next is to sign up for the U.S. Embassy's Easy Travel website. It's called STEP. And let's see what the web page is. It's step.state.gov //step mobile /. But I think if you just type step.state.gov, you should get to the web page that I'm talking about. And then you basically set up an account there. And you select what country you're traveling to or city, and then you put in the times you're going to be there. And it basically alerts you to any time that there's going to be anything happening in that area. So when I was in Ecuador, I can give you a couple examples. It let me know that there was going to be an active volcano in the area and just to stay away from that area if I happened to be there, which I wasn't. I wasn't anywhere near that area, that city. And then another time it was when I was in Spain. We think that we riot and we strike here in America. Those Europeans are always striking and rioting. So when I was in Spain, there was a moment where, and I think it was either Madrid or Barcelona, they were rioting and striking. So they just advised me to stay away from those areas because it was not safe for an American, because we're not used to how they riot and how they strike in those areas. So that was that. Oh, where is my, let me get my what is this called? My setting, my primer. I'm using the Power Grip Primer by Elf right now. It's good, but you got to put a lot of it on. So that's what I'm using right now. After you apply for the step, then you're good to go. I always, if you're traveling out of the country, so when you travel out the country versus when you travel in the country, it's kind of different. When you travel out of the country, you got to make a couple additional precautions. You got to have more money when you travel out the country. Just have money on you in the currency pre go to the bank that you go, and you got to make a request to have a currency exchange, and then they'll have it ready for you within the next day or two. So go to wherever bank you whatever bank you go to, get the currency exchange so you can travel with like 1,000 of the dollars, and then have money in your bank account. And then you might want to get a travel credit card so that the currency exchange won't charge you each time you make a purchase or every time you go to the ATM. So you might want to look into getting a travel credit card. Have money in the bank, and I'm talking about $2,000 at least in your bank account, and then have $1,000 in the country's currency that you're going to be traveling to. Then sometimes you might even want to get one of those quick ATM cards from like a bank or a Cash App. So if something were to go down, you have your debit card, you have your credit card, your travel credit card, and then you have a Visa debit card to one of those banking accounts. So you can have someone just transfer money to your account, and you can just use that if your other cards were compromised in any way. Now, another tip is, obviously we saw on Taken, never share a ride. I don't know why people use ride share where you have other passengers that can ride with you. Don't do that. Please don't do that. You need to make sure your destination is a private. If someone asks if you're traveling alone, never say yes. Always say you're traveling with your husband or your brother, or you have a group of friends. Never say that yes to traveling alone. What else? Um, this is, by the way, the Juvia's Place concealers. I've been using these for a couple years where they're basically expired now because it says 24 months. And I got these in spring of 2022. So yeah, it's time for me to throw these out. But you're traveling. You didn't share a ride, you didn't taxi or anyone at the airport where you're going. If you're by yourself, you let them know, you have other people going, or if you can, in a way, let them know you don't even want to discuss it. But sometimes that can be hard to say that you don't want to discuss it. You can also um because you haven't cleaned it out any. But what was I gonna say? What's the next step I have for traveling? Oh, if you are going to Super Bowl weekend, be careful because Super Bowl weekend is always every year has the most sex traffic victims that happen, because we know how men can be animalistic and not have self-control and can be evil. So they're like trying to get people to have sex with them. without their consent. So just be careful about that. And that brings me to another point, traveling in general. As an American, a lot of other people think that we are a lot more free and sexually liberated and willing to do things that maybe the women for their country wouldn't do. So you might be targeted more for men to think that you're easy. So be careful. Um, it's like a running joke that in America we are crazy, loose, and dangerous. So just be careful. Don't make yourself a target. Don't travel. Follow the travel norms. Like in Ecuador, it was not to wear shorts. Do not wear shorts in public because it makes you a pariah and it puts you at risk. What else? Certain travel norms is like you don't make eye contact with people. Like that is not what you do. So you just gotta research what the travel norms are. Sometimes it might be you don't tip people or you don't put the money in people's hands, you put it on the counter. So you really gotta look into those because it can really be dangerous if you don't follow the travel norms. It's not like, oh, I just didn't know. It's like, oh, you're now going to be going to jail because you didn't follow the rules. Like in a lot of Middle Eastern Muslim countries, you can't hug people that you don't know, and sometimes you can't be affectionate in general with people. So you gotta just stay up to date, follow the rules. If they say no singles can cohabitate, don't book a hotel with your partner. Get separate rooms. Some hotels are more, you know, liberal with those rules, but if it's the law of the land, you just don't want to risk it and you get in trouble and then you go to jail for shacking up in a country that doesn't believe in shacking up. Um, the other travel rules and tips I would say is print a copy of your passport. You obviously cannot use that, but it just proves at least that you are who you say you are, and just keep the copy in your luggage or in your belongings or keep it with you. Some people say keep your passport with you at all times. Some people say don't keep your passport with you at all times. So I think that one is up to your discretion. I typically, if I was not leaving the country, I did not keep my passport with me. I kept a copy of my passport, and then I kept my passport in a safe space that I didn't think that it would get stolen or taken or copied. So that's what I did. Other people will say they keep their passport on them at all times. But to me, that can be kind of hard because sometimes you're not looking at your belongings. You don't always have access to your stuff if you're traveling because you might be doing an excursion, you might be getting into the water, you might be doing this, you might be doing that. So if you kept your passport on you at all times, then somebody could take it from you and you wouldn't even know. So that is kind of, you might just have to fix on by yourself and see if it's better for you to keep it with you or keep it somewhere. But definitely make a copy of it regardless. Um, what else? If you can, bring something to put on the door at the hotel or Airbnb to keep it locked. Bring a actual physical combination lock because sometimes if you're staying at a hostel or you're staying at a hotel, they may have lockers and you could keep your things in there. But again, someone can always get those lock clippers and just break the lock. So it's always a risk involved, but some things are less riskier than others. What else? That was the e.l.f. Hydro Camo Concealer, the shade Medium Peach. I let that dry for a bit and I haven't been contouring much, but today I'm going to because my hair is not done. So a little illusion or distraction, if you will. This is the Anastasia Hills in the powder bronzer in the shade Saddle. I put a little here on this side, on these two sides, my temporal lobe to kind of make this look thinner. Then I bring it up to the forehead and go around there. Okay, so we got the passports, we got the copies. You've barricaded the doors, you brought your locks with you. And of course, you have your, I didn't share this, but definitely have your location share with someone too, obviously. I didn't see that, but that's like the first thing you do when you travel is always have your location shared with someone that you trust. What else? So you got your what else? Goodness, I'm spacing on tips for traveling today. Can't think of anything else. Oh, obviously, please do not get inebriated. Don't get belligerently drunk or under the influence of a drug. There was a time I remember I was in Ecuador and I was on a weekend vacation to Mo- was it Montanita? I think it was Montanita. And I got super drunk where I blacked out basically and I had to get a ride from the location I was at to my hostel and I couldn't even tell them where I was going. And I wasn't alone. I was with other people and everyone was drunk, but I think I was the drunkest. And I was just so thankful that I woke up in my bed at the hostel that I stayed at because that was so stupid of me to do. One, it's not good for your body to do that. And then two, anything could have happened. We are in a foreign country and I'm just drunk in a party city because Montanita is like a party city if you look it up. They are known for having a lot of THC and edibles and weed brownies and marijuana. So it's a huge party city. But I was super drunk and I'm just thankful that I got to where I needed to be. So don't ever do that. Don't ever get where you can't control yourself or you can't keep yourself safe because you're so intoxicated. That is definitely travel 101. But don't be scared. If you're traveling alone, it is not scary. It's super liberating and fun. A lot of people do it. You don't have to be afraid that you're going to get abducted as long as you are safe. You don't tell people your business. You follow basic safety things you would do in your own hometown and city. You'll be just fine. A lot of people that you know will try to talk you out of it, like, oh my God, don't go. That's so dangerous, so safe. Don't do that. Like, you're a girl. You shouldn't be traveling alone. Blah, 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 blah. But that's just because they're scared and they may never have done it themselves. So you can't let someone else's fear stop you from exploring and living your best life. So you just got to do it anyways. And then they'll see, okay, she's fine, she's safe, she's not doing anything stupid. And then you'll just keep doing it more and more. And then they'll just finally accept it. Like, okay, this is who this person is. They're a traveler. Nothing I say is going to stop them. And they'll eventually stop haggling you about traveling all the time and traveling alone. So don't worry about it. After like the first time, you'll be good. You'll be completely comfortable with traveling. What other tips can I think of? If anyone in the chat has a safety tip for traveling alone and you're a girl, please put it in the chat because we could use the help. It is that time of year where everyone is booking their trips and we need the tips. This is the infamous Laura Mercier translucent setting powder. And then before that, I used the Huda Beauty, not Huda Booty, Huda Beauty Banana Bread Easy Bacon Snatch Press Compact Powder. I love that powder. I can't believe I'm so late to the game on getting that. My little makeup kit right now is so small and it's perfect because it's things that I will use for a everyday look and a going out look. So I love my little set that I have right now. This is the Great Lash, Lots of Lashes, Very Black, my go-to classic mascara. I use this all the time. Trying to think of more safety tips to give you all. I'm spacing. I can't think of any more right now. Oh, this is random, but you know those little suitcase tags that ask for your information? So if your suitcase gets mixed up with someone else's or lost, don't put your full address on those. Just put a name. It doesn't even have to be your name. Just put a name and a phone number. So if they do need to call you, they can access your phone, but you don't want to put your address so then they can find where you are living and maybe stalk you or come and snatch you up. So don't ever put your full address on those little tabs. Just your name or a name and a contact number. You'd be surprised what people will do. What else can I think of right now? Oh, yeah, yeah. If you're going to another country that speaks a different language, at least learn the basics like, can you help me? How do I get to? Where is this? Or thank you, yes, no. How do I say? And then you can show them a picture of something. So like learn a couple of phrases to get you from point A to point B and then download, the best translator app that's on the market whenever you go travel because now they have it where it just does a voice translation. So you can record someone's voice and it'll translate it into a text or into another voice of the other language. But those ones probably I would assume they cost money. So what else? Seems like there's could be so many tips. So many tips to share. but I'm spacing on them right now. See how good this mascara is? It is really good mascara. It's just a drugstore mascara. But I do want to try the Better Than Sex from toothpaste because I hear that's good. And Lancome apparently has a really good one. So I'll get those one day while with my discount. Okay. Any more sour chips? Oh, sometimes for a hostel or Airbnb, you can request a all girls dorm or a co-ed dorm, whichever more one you're more comfortable with. Um, yeah, that's a good one. Oh, sometimes you have to know the actual coordinates of where you're going because some of these places you're in such rural areas, there is no Google Maps. There is no destination on the Google Maps. You just got to know the longitude and latitude of where you're going to be to get there. So that can be kind of crazy. But usually whoever is driving, because most times you'll be taking a bus if that's the case, those bus drivers know the route to get there, but maybe you might want to share that location with someone, then you will just need to just share the actual coordinates of where you're going to be. Um, any last things that I can think of? Hmm, not much else. It's really not that hard or crazy. I use TripAdvisor when I traveled to look at reviews for different excursions. People are extremely honest on those, so I trusted what people had to say about that. I always do reviews even here when I'm in America for restaurants and malls and grocery stores. Like, I'll look at the reviews to see what people say about the place. So that's just a natural instinct of mine in general, but definitely look at the reviews for excursions and hotels and hostels and however you plan on traveling. If you're vacationing or if you're just going to be traveling and using hostels, definitely look at the reviews. Definitely want to get those free Wi-Fi's and see what the shower situations are for these places because everything is different. Gotta go get my fingerprints done before 1. I gotta get out of here. I said this once, but obviously you gotta be extremely observant of your surroundings when you're walking around alone at night. And try not to get to your wherever you do, don't arrive at night and don't get a ride share or anything in the evening because you might have to walk to an obscure place to get there because sometimes there's like things are in inner in the town in the little area, so you might have to walk off the main sidewalk or off the main road to go more inland, which is hard to explain, but if you've done it you know what I'm talking about. So you don't want to do that at night because you can't see where you're going, you don't know where you're going, and it's just a dangerous situation to be. So make sure your flights are always arriving during the day, and so you can at least scope the area out before you start trying to travel in a new place in the evening. You want to at least know where you're going and feel comfortable to do it then you can start going around at night. But I would not encourage anyone to be traveling alone at night for the first time. That is super dangerous. So definitely try and get those times to be during the day. Um, that's all I can think of right now. Because obviously I didn't write anything down for this video. So if you watch this, please leave a comment for a suggestion you have if you have traveled alone and I didn't mention it. Oh, and you can't trust the front desk people either. Those people be working for sex traffickers too. So don't tell them any of your personal information either. Always tell them you're traveling with someone. No matter who it is, you're traveling with a man. This is the one size fit on till dawn setting spray. Love the way this smells. I don't know if it's just my sprayer, but it feels like nothing is spraying, but there actually is stuff spraying on there. And this color I use the NYX pencil, and this is the shade Pale Pink as the base. And then I use, oh, this is Club Hopper on the outline. And then I finished it off with the Lip Injection by Too Faced in the shade Soulmate. Ooh, so scrumptious on the lips. Hair, I'm gonna get my hair done later, so I'm gonna probably brush this and just kind of do something silly. I don't know. Just do it to the side or maybe put it up in a big ponytail. Who knows? But this is kind of what I'm working with today. I got this cute little pink top from Club Monaco. It's such a cute fit. I love it. So I'm gonna go get my fingerprints done so I can get this FBI check, and then I'll be back on live tomorrow. Not sure the topic, but the time, well, let's just keep it again at 11. We'll do 11:30 a.m. tomorrow. So come back for tomorrow. I'll see you guys then. Bye. And follow me at Fashion with Aisha on all social media, okay?